Hey, sweetheart. So, just got done helping out the neighbor. Got our light changed. Just being neighborly again, which feels good. It's what I kind of do is help, which rocks. So I've just got that quandary, sweetheart, that I was talking to you about as I get crumbs from my patty melt. That I finally cooked something for myself. That was interesting. That was a hypokalemia. I almost dropped the phone. Every once in a while, the hands kind of go icky on me. Um, there's just a really sweet girl that I wouldn't mind just getting to know her. I'm not talking about sexing it up or anything like that, but just getting to know her. Um, I've really found that that works out a lot better than for me than just really easy girls. And holy Christ, you weren't easy. It was easy to love you, but it was not easy trying to figure out what to do with my emotions. Her name's Beverly and Bev, and she was my OT. But since I'm discharged and she's always out in the field, it becomes not a conflict of interest. We checked with her boss and everything, but she asked me out, and like I said, she said I am the most charismatic man she has ever met, which I think is a sweet thing to say because you used to say things of essentially the same. So tomorrow, what I'm going to be up to is I'm going to be jetting out of here. I think I kind of got the permission of my PO and Judge Weeks to get my ass out of here. I'm going to go down and visit Derek for a bit. We're going to go do some underground mining, rock collecting, just a bunch of the stuff that eventually I would have gotten you used to, and you would have had an absolute blast. Indiana Steven, and I'm going to call you Illinois Claire because you're not cool for Indiana. So, Ohio Claire? No. Minnesota Claire? Oh, Minnesota Claire. There it is. Indiana Steve, Minnesota Claire. You would. So, and mean, we got that stuff in there. But I'm gonna just spend some time with this Bev and get to know her, and I'm seeking your almost permission, but mostly I think just your understanding that I've been really lonely, and what I always liked just really just you know the best about being with you was the camaraderie, the company, the companionship, the understanding, things of that sort, and also just you're brilliant, smarter than I am, and this girl's pretty bright, and thinks I'm actually kind of funny as hell. She went over to Turquoise Lodge with me yesterday, and left the room for a bit and went, oh fuck, I offended her, but she was just laughing too hard and thought she was going to be disruptive. Tomorrow, while I'm down in Arizona as well, kind of set it up with a church there that I'm gonna go ahead and get my ass baptized. Well, not my ass. I think they dunk your head in the water, and I don't have to worry about a hairdryer or anything except that you left one here as a smart ass gift for me. But like I was saying about the baptism, I don't want to miss out on the chance of seeing my mom again and seeing you again. Maybe my hamsters too, but I've been told they don't have souls. Um, but you know, just seems like a lot of right things to do, and knowing you has given me a perspective that I never would have had otherwise. So I owe you so much, and I don't know if I gave you enough in return. I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe the slate clean of that last month and a half we were together, except for that one final night where you and I got to talk as not so much a couple, but as a connection. And that was great. So that's about it. I put new lighting up all over the house. I'm going to continue to do projects. It feels good. It's keeping me occupied. Everybody down at Walgreens passes on condolences, and I remind them that, come on, guys, you've been working with me for about 10 years now. And Ryan said, yeah, you got to count it as you're thinking it, Steve, is that you don't count the loss, you count just the time together and how wonderful it was. And they're all hoping that I'll be as happy again. I might be as happy again, but it's not going to be in the same way as you. You are more than one of a kind. You're Claire. Um, oh, and thus far we have now raised $2,500 for the Claire Memorial, uh, the Claire Memorial Scholarship, and had a neat idea. If we can hit it at 10,000, and I don't see why not. I'm back to being me. The idea is the same thing I did with like the down there at the New Mexico Mineral Museum. It's something where you can add to the fund, and what it is you can take 90% of the interest every year and apply it to the memorial fund to the scholarship, and then 10% is always added to the principal. And you do that over 10 or 15 years, and suddenly you're giving out a scholarship of about $20,000. So that's kind of the idea. Let's get the ball rolling on that one. But I promise you, sweetheart, you will never be forgotten. And not just by me, but by anybody and everybody. It's the least I can do for you for the way you change the world. There's a world award coming up for you, too. You've been nominated for a couple of things by me. And I hope in some way you feel that it is appropriate, an appropriate way to really honor you and show how much I love you. So, as always, I miss you. It's getting not easier to miss you, but I am getting more used to it. So you take care of yourself. There's some stuff around the house that I want to video before I move it around. Just a lot of the stuff that I didn't recognize how much my home had changed. Not just because you were in it, but so much decor wise. No, take a look at that. Let's see if I can get it in there. Where is it? No, that's me again. All those over there are new books, and it came from kind of a not only from the library but also a collection that I purchased. I got money again. It's nice. I wish you were here for it. You wouldn't have been as bored. Meow Wolf. Have tickets for Hollywood Undead. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I don't feel like going without you. But amongst all this stuff, there was a first edition, first printing, John Steinbeck, uh, Cannery, not Cannery Row, sorry, Grapes of Wrath, the one that he got the Pulitzer for his first time out. And I've been looking around, and it turns out that this particular first pressing, first edition, they pressed 50,000 of them as it turns out. It might be a book that's worth about $12,000, and that would be really cool. That would float me for a couple of months, so I didn't have to stress out so much. I wish my brain worked for that period of time. Um, Most likely, it wasn't just a metabolic thing, although the metabolic thing consisted of it. But both you and I stopped eating, and when I stopped eating, and my body was feasting upon my bones. I cracked my thumb. It was really weird. I heard it crack to get the potassium. So hypokalemia. Talking with a second year resident up at Wayne State University. Going to go up there and chat with her a bit more. It might be the kind of thing we do some remote testing, but she's interested in putting me into her research population, which I think is pretty cool. You know me, I like to help other peers, and if I can help other peers avoid this kind of thing where it's a psychosis brought on by a lack of potassium and not a psychosis brought on by a miswired brain. My gosh, how many people can we keep from being misdiagnosed? I'm sure a great number of your little members just felt that way. And oh yeah, by the way, I did move on from Molina. I changed over to Presbyterian because even though the a dude I work with, he's only a CC2. He wasn't as cool as you, but he does remember going to you often as his mentor. Um, uh, there's just too many people connected to that. It's too much of a reminder for me, and there's been too many little things here and there that now that the delusional paranoia has kind of skedaddled, it's just passive aggressive shit, and I don't need that while I'm trying to get well. My insurance is supposed to pay for me getting well. My insurance isn't supposed to pay for my treatment and then make me worse, so I need more treatment so they can pay for more. Although that isn't a bad business model now that I think about it. Oh, yeah. So if you're chatting with anybody else, and I don't think that they have the same connection that we do, uh, can you pass along that it's really not a good idea to mess with me? I changed my phone number. I blocked a great number of things. I need to grieve for you, and I am, and people are helping me. And it doesn't do any good having individuals blaming me for something that started when you were very, very young. Um, you always told me you were going to die young, and I know that you knew it. Your body was not going to be there for much longer. Uh, but thanks for sharing yourself with me. You are the greatest girlfriend I've ever had, and bar none. And we would have made it. Regardless, I just know in my heart that at some point we would have made it. So it could have been years, could have been decades, but we wouldn't have ever forgotten about each other. So, El Moro is Wednesday for me. So, going to go out there for a little bit, and there's a little church that we passed on the way. I've already given them a call. And like I said, I'm getting baptized. It's a good call. Like you like water quite a bit. If they could baptize me at Jemez Falls, how freaking cool would that be? I should look into that. I am going to look into that. That would frickin' rock. I don't care how cold it is right now. I used to do polar bear club time all the time when I was back in California. Of course, polar bear club there is still a nice balmy 55 degrees. Enough for hypothermia, but if you're only in there for a little bit, the best you're going to get is crotch shrinkage, and you know what I'm talking about. I got to get going. I love you. I miss you. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. Take care, sweet.